This is a historic year for the fight to end TB. The world has a lot to look forward to this World TB Day. In September, we'll have heads of states come together at the first ever UN General Assembly high-level meeting on TB at the United Nations in New York. This follows on from a very successful Ministerial Conference on ending TB in Moscow in November 2017, which resulted in high-level commitments from ministers and other leaders from 120 countries and over 800 partners, including civil society, to end TB. This is a momentous time, and while we have a lot to celebrate, we have to keep the people we are fighting for, those living and dying with TB, at the forefront of all our efforts. As you know, TB remains the top infectious killer in the world today. Every day, nearly 30,000 people fall ill with TB, and 4,500 people lose their lives to this preventable and curable disease. TB also is the top killer of people living with HIV. Antimicrobial resistance, including multi-drug-resistant TB, poses a current and future threat for our progress. The social and economic impacts are devastating and include stigma and discrimination. In addition, we are still lagging behind in TB research. The past 40 years have seen very few new drugs and diagnostics emerge from the pipeline. While the world has committed to end the TB epidemic by 2030 as a target of the Sustainable Development Goals and WHO anti-TB strategy, actions and investments fall far short of those needed. This is why our call for World TB Day this year, along with partners like the Stop TB Partnership, is wanted leaders for a TB-free world. We would like countries and their leaders at all levels to commit to accelerate efforts so we can truly elevate the fight against TB and drive down death and sufferings. Heads of states, ministers of health, other ministers, mayors, governors, parliamentarians, community leaders, people affected with TB, civil society advocates, health workers, doctors and nurses, researchers, non-governmental organizations, activists, and other partners, all can be leaders of efforts to end TB in their own work or terrain. Our collective ripple can make a tidal wave to wipe out the death and suffering caused by this disease. Are you ready to join me? I urge you to stand with me as a leader to end TB. Together, we can ensure no one is left behind. Together, we can make TB history.